I feel like I shouldn't have missed this one because I feel like we've done this one before, but only
I don't
Canadian
remember it, so maybe we haven't.
only Canadian films are shown at LAC. I don't know what that is.
At LN Film Festival, that's all I would say.
This year, most of the films that won prizes at the festival also won prizes at international film festivals.
Okay, so this one I would definitely diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your first instinct? It's okay if it's not.
I thought about diagramming, but I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna diagram it right. So.
Right, and that's why that's why I don't teach leading with diagramming, because because most people like get questions wrong because they diagram wrong. But you're at that point now where we're going to start adding some of it in for you, like as a tool. So what's the first word here that introduces a conditional statement?
Only?
Yeah, and what kind of condition does only introduce?
Necessary.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Oh.
Just because you have it memorized, or do you have a trick? So only has an N in it, so that's how I remember necessary. Okay. So how would you diagram that first sentence?
Only see films and an arrow at L.
Okay, what side of the arrow does the sufficient and necessary condition go on?
Does necessary go on the right side? And sufficient?
Yeah, necessary goes on the right side, right? Because how I remember that is sufficient ends in a T. So that does our trigger.
Okay.
Right? Like our arrow, like it's cheesy, but sufficient, the cross, like the arrow to the necessary. And so if only introduces necessary, then what is our necessary condition here?
Canadian films.
Bingo. So then what's our sufficient?
Shown at LN Film Festival.
Yeah, so if it's shown at the LN Film Festival, we know that it's a Canadian film, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then what about this next sentence? So this year, most, so what does most mean?
At least more than 50%.
More than 50% of the films that won prizes at the Canadian Film Festival also won prizes at the International Film Festival. So all we're saying here is like at this Canadian Film Festival, most of the films that won prizes, so most that won prizes also won prizes at the International Film Festival.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so what kind of question is this?
Must be true.
Yep. So is this top down or bottom up?
Is it top down?
Yep. Why is it top down?
I mean, just because we want to stay in between the stimulus.
Yeah, we're staying between the lines. Excellent. Sorry, I'm going to always ask you these questions so that if you ever get a question stimulus that you're not familiar with, you can logically think through, well, hey, I'm taking something from the stimulus. This is probably top down. I want something more mild.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to drill it into your head. Like
I need it because I'm so like
hesitant. You're hesitant. Yes, you know it. You're hesitant. So we want to build that confidence up for you. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what else must be true.
Okay.
So can you even thinking sometimes on these must be true questions, we can put two of our premises together and think of something else. And so for example, here, what I would maybe predict is at least one film at the LN Film Festival won a prize at an international film festival.
Okay.
You see how I put them together and that also would have to be true?
Yeah, I think that's what I was on that
track. Okay, cool.
I think I ended up choosing at least one Canadian film was shown instead of
at least one Canadian film did win a prize. Let's see what we go with, or let's look at the answers.
All right. This year, most of the Canadian films that were shown at the international films won prizes at the LN Film Festival. Okay.
What do you think about that one?
I don't really know because I'm like.
So what is that saying?
They're saying that the Canadian films that were shown. Any film that was Canadian that was shown at the international had won prizes at
Okay,
the
so they're
others.
saying most of the Canadian films that were shown at the international film festivals won prizes at do we know that? Do we know that most of the Canadian, like what if 1 million Canadian films were shown at the international film festival? Does that mean that most of those that won prizes also won prizes at the LNFF? What if a lot of them didn't even go to this festival?
Right.
We have no idea, right?
Right. Okay. Most of the Canadian films produced this year were shown at the LN Film Festival. I feel like that's just kind of reinstating or it's not even right because it says only Canadian films are shown at the LN Festival.
This is that most of the Canadian films produced this year. So of all the Canadian films that were produced, most were shown at this festival.
Okay.
Like we can't guarantee that, right?
Right.
Like what if only 10 films were shown here? We know all 10 are Canadian, but that doesn't mean of all the Canadian films, most of them were shown.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Some of the films that won prizes at the international film festivals this year were Canadian films. I feel like this is what I chose.
What is that? What does some mean?
At least one. Oh, is that where I went wrong?
No, we like mild.
Okay. Did I say I got this one wrong?
Yeah. So some of the films that won prizes at the international award this year. Yeah, that's like it's 100%. I'm curious of why you missed this one, to be honest, because that's what you predicted.
I don't know. I don't remember reading
Okay.
this one.
So if you truly did miss this one, this is what we would consider a level 1 low-hanging fruit question.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe I wrote it down wrong. Maybe I didn't get it wrong.
Okay, let's go on to D and E and make sure.
This year, not every film that won at the prize at the L was also shown. I didn't think that was relevant. I was just like, what does that have to be? Must be true.
Not every film that won prizes at the LN. We don't know that. Maybe because we could maybe every single film that won prizes at the LNM was also shown at the international. We have no idea.
Right.
Excellent. And then what about E?
This year, at least one film that won a prize at the International Film Festival was not shown at the LN Film Festival. I don't know. We don't know that.
No, right. Maybe every single one. Maybe there was only 3 prizes at the international film festivals, and all 3 of them were from Canada. We have no idea.
Okay.
All right. So
I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. Do you have this? Let's look it up and see what you picked because I'm very, very, very curious on this.
No.